Have you ever wanted a clock that's just always right? No fiddling with buttons, no adjusting for daylight saving? Well, today we're going to build exactly that. We're making a smart clock using an ESP32, and it gets its time straight from the internet. So let's dive in and make it happen.
I mean, think about it. Most clocks drift. They lose a second here, a minute there, and if the power goes out, you're stuck resetting everything. What if we could build a clock that's always spot on, down to the very second, and it just works? That's exactly what we're going to build today.
You know, what makes this project so cool is how much simpler it is than the old school way. See, traditionally, you'd need this extra little board called a real-time clock, or RTC, just to keep time. But with the ESP32, its built-in Wi-Fi makes that totally unnecessary. It just reaches out to these super precise time servers online, which means it's always accurate and it sets itself the moment you plug it in. We get fewer parts and way less complexity. That's what I call working smart.
All right, time to get our hands dirty. First up, let's tackle the hardware and software setup. We're going to get all our parts wired up and make sure our coding environment is ready to go. So here's our shopping list. The heart of the project, of course, is the ESP32 board. For our display, we're using a classic 16x2 LCD. Now here's a really important tip. Get one that has the I2C module already soldered onto the back. Trust me, this little guy is going to save you from a massive wiring headache. Besides that, all you need are a few jumper wires and a standard USB cable. That's it.
So what's this I2C thing I keep mentioning? Well, it stands for Inter-Integrated Circuit, and honestly, it's a total game changer for projects like this. It's basically a language that lets our ESP32 talk to the screen using just two main wires for data. This takes our wiring from what could have been a dozen connections down to just 4. Super simple.
And here's just how simple that wiring is. It's just 4 connections. Let's do it. First, connect the ground pin from the LCD to a ground pin on the ESP32. Easy. Next, the VCC pin, which is for power, goes to the 5-volt pin. And finally, the 2 data pins. SDA on the LCD goes to SDA on the ESP32, and SCL goes to SCL. And that is literally it. Now, the default pins for SDA and SCL are usually 21 and 22, but it's always smart to double-check the diagram for your specific board.
Okay, hardware is all hooked up. Now let's get the software side ready. Fire up your Arduino IDE, because we need a special library to help us talk to our specific screen. Just pop open the library manager, type in Liquid Crystal I2C, find the one by a developer named Frank, and click Install. This little library gives us all the simple commands we'll need to control the display.
Now, before we get all fancy with the clock code, we need to do a quick sanity check. We're going to run a simple Hello World test. This will prove to us that our wiring is correct and the software is talking to the screen properly. Taking this one small step now can save you a world of frustration later on.
Let's take a look at the code for this test. The first couple of lines are key. First, we include the library we just installed. Then we create what's called an LCD object. Think of it as a nickname for our screen. When we do this, we have to give it 3 pieces of info. The screen's unique address on the I2C bus, which is usually 0x27 or 0x35, and its size, which for us is 16 columns wide by 2 rows tall.
Now, inside the setup function, and remember, this part only runs once right when the ESP32 boots up, we have 3 simple commands. First, lcd.init basically wakes up the screen. Then, lcd.backlight turns on the light so we can actually read the text. And finally, lcd.print does exactly what it sounds like. It prints our message, something like, "Hello ESP32," right onto the display.
But what if you don't want to just print on that top line? Well, you can tell the cursor exactly where to go with the lcd.setCursor command. It takes 2 numbers, first the column, then the row. Just remember, in the world of programming, we always start counting from 0. So if you want the beginning of the second line, you'd use 0, 1.
Okay, perfect. Our screen works. Now for the really cool part. This is where we add the smart to our smart clock. We are going to connect our ESP32 to the internet and ask it for the current time.
So how does a little chip know the exact time? Well, it uses something called NTP, which stands for Network Time Protocol. The easiest way to think about this is that there's a whole network of official, super-duper precise atomic clocks out there on the internet. Our ESP32 can just connect to one of them and say, "Hey, what time is it?" It's this amazing public service that basically keeps the entire digital world running on time.
Now, to actually connect, we're not going to start from scratch. We'll use an example sketch that's already built into the Arduino IDE. Just go to File, then Examples, ESP32, Time, and open up Simple Time. Once you have that open, the very first thing you have to do is find the lines for your Wi-Fi name and password and fill them in. That's how the ESP32 gets online.
One quick thing to know is that these NTP servers give you the time in a universal format, GMT. To get our local time, we just need to tell the code how many hours we are away from GMT. The trick is, we have to provide this offset in seconds. So for instance, if you're 1 hour ahead of GMT, that's 3,600 seconds. If you're 5 hours behind, like in New York, you'd use a negative number, negative 18,000. Just do a quick search online for your city's GMT or UTC offset, and you'll find the number you need.
All right, here we go. We've tested our screen and we know how to get the time from the internet. The final step is to bring these two pieces together. It's time to merge our code and bring this smart clock to life.
Merging the code is actually pretty simple. We're going to use that simple time sketch as our main file. So go back to your Hello World code and copy the line that includes the liquid crystal library and the one that creates the LCD object. Paste those right at the top of the simple time sketch. Then, grab the lcd.init and lcd.backlight lines and paste them inside the setup function of simple time. That's it.
Now, inside the main loop that runs over and over, we'll write our display code. First, we want to clear the screen with lcd.clear so we don't just write text on top of old text. Then, we set the cursor to the first line and print the date. We can use these little format codes like %b for the full month name. After that, we move the cursor to the second line and print the time, again using format codes for the hour, minute, and second. This whole block will repeat every second, keeping our clock perfectly updated. And once you upload that final code, boom, it all comes together. The ESP32 connects to your Wi-Fi, grabs the precise time, and displays it beautifully on the screen. It's such a great feeling when it works. This is really a perfect little project that shows you the power of connecting a simple microcontroller to the huge world of the internet.
So, there you have it. A working, always accurate, self-setting smart clock. But this really gets you thinking, right? Now that you have a device that can pull and display any live data from the internet, what else could you build? A little weather station? A stock ticker? The possibilities are absolutely endless. So my question to you is, what would you display?